I was called to diagnose this vehicle, and it's having intermittent no start. So sometimes it starts and the other time it doesn't start. So what I'll do now is I'll check the fault codes and see okay the actual problems. So let me go back, and you can see it's mostly communication issue, and most of them are reporting no communication with the EZS. And let me go to the next issue and see. So with the EZS, which is the ignition module, which is CAN bars off. So, and you can see in the also it has the EZS no communication. So I'll see why it's happening. So, and the trick that happens is when you take off the battery for a while, then it start working. So what I'll do now is I'll check why this thing keeps losing communication. So I'll check why it keeps losing communication. I've taken it out, and I'll check why it keeps losing communication, and I'll know what to do from there. So I'll check the system, and normally all the fault code all the system are reporting no communication with that, with the EZS. So I'll check it. I'll check my wiring diagram and see. So when you check the EZS, as at now I can communicate with it. Let me see if I can find it here. EIS or EZS, all of them are the same. So this is it, EZS. So it's saying terminal 30 not present. So I think I'll check for this fault code. I'll go to my wiring diagram and check for this fault code, and it is stored. So let me erase all the fault code in the system and see. Let me erase all the fault code in the system bar first. Okay, so, and no message received from the intelligent survey module. So I'll erase all the fault code, then I'll come back again and check if the fault will persist. If it persists, then that means I have to check this EZS and do further testing on it, and taking it out was a bit difficult. So I'll check my wiring diagram and erase all the fault code from the system, then see the issue that will remain. Now after erasing all the fault code, I'll wait for it to rescan the system again, wait for it to do its thing again, and I'll check the remaining issues. Now after everything, most of the fault code are being erased, so the remaining one, let me go to diagnosing plan to check the remaining one. No communication received from steering column, chassis CAN bus control module is off, and only these ones are remain. So I'll leave the car for a while and turn it off and see if the fault will come again. When it comes up again, I'll also scan the whole system and see the actual problem or the actual issue with the vehicle. That's what happens. It tells you the vehicle is not in park and the door is open. So what I'll do is I want to erase all the fault code, then because after this, the moment you take the battery terminal off and place it back, everything will reset and it will start again. By now it is not starting. So I'll erase all the fault code, and I'll disconnect the ISM, then reconnect it again. So now whenever the problem happens, and instead of disconnecting the battery, when I disconnect the EZS and wait for some few minutes and plug it back, the vehicle starts again. So you can see now it's starting, it's running again, and most of the modules are reporting no communication with the EZS. So I'll try, I don't want to be a part changer, but with this one I have no option than to change the EZS first before I'll do anything. So I'll speak to the client about it. So this evening also I came to the vehicle to start it, and it's an intermittent issue, so it's beating me up. Came to the vehicle to start it, and you can see the ignition is on and it is not even starting. I'm cranking it and it's not even starting. So what I'll do now is I'll turn it off and remove the EZS and plug it back and see if the vehicle will start. If the vehicle starts, then that means I have to work on the EZS. If not, I have to go and remove the ISM also and see if the issue will go off. But if I remove this one and the issue goes off, then that means the problem is from the EZS, not the ISM. After removing it and fixing it back, let me place in the key and crank it and see if it will work. And voila, the vehicle is running. So that means the problem is from this EZS. So I'll speak to the customer so that we replace this EZS and we'll see what we can do about it. So I'll speak to him about it, then we'll see how possible best we can work on it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. And the vehicle will not start because it keeps telling you it is not in park. So when you try to start the vehicle, you see now everything has gone haywire. The vehicle will not start, and you try to start it and it's not starting. So after fixing the SZS, I'll disconnect it at the back again and see and fix it back. So now I've taken the IZS out, and now you can see the fault code is not showing that the vehicle is not in park. So what I'll do now is I'll wait for a while and plug them back and see if they will start the vehicle. So now I've plugged it back and I'll search for the key to turn the ignition on and turn the ignition on. Because it's not in park, that's why it wasn't starting. So now I'll turn the ignition on and the vehicle is running now. So I'll speak to the customer, so now I can confirm that it is from the EZS, the ignition switch module, which is faulty. That's why it's causing those problems. So now I'm confidently that I can tell the customer that we have to replace that part. Then we know what to do. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. So with this one, you can see the can waveform at the back of the EZS, and you can see the can waveform is very bad. So this one I have to check why the can waveform has a lot of noise on it. So then you can see the fault is now occurring, and you can see the wiper comes on automatically and goes off automatically. So what I'll do is, you can see there's so much noise on the can line. So what I'll do is I'll try and scan and see if I'll be able to communicate with all the units on this green line, which goes to the powertrain and everything. Then I'll know what to do. So with this one, you can see how bad the can wave is, and it has a lot of noise on it, and the problem keeps persisting. With this one, when I shut the car down, it will not start again till I take off the battery terminal. But I see something. The moment I disconnect the EZS, the moment I disconnect that can line, so the moment I disconnect it, so the moment I disconnect the EZS, you can see now I'm having a clean and a clear can waveform. So now I'm certain that it's from the EZS, and you can see, but I'll plug it back, shut the vehicle down and plug it back and see if I'll be able to communicate with the whole unit. If I'm not able to communicate with the whole unit, then I'll disconnect it and see if I'll be able to communicate with the whole unit. And you can see how good the CAN waveform looks like. So it means it is from the EZS. But for now, to verify that, I have to scan the whole car first and know what to do. So you can see that now the fault is occurring, and you can see the whole thing, the way the whole thing is behaving. The fault is occurring, and you can see the whole thing, how the whole thing is behaving. And voila, I got it on the CAN line. So the whole problem is with Mercedes, they have what we call gateway module. So when you scan on the OBD2 port, you are scanning the CAN line from the gateway module, and normally that CAN line is more active when you are using a scan tool to command the system that you want information. But if not, then you have to find for their junction port, because like this, for instance, this scan issue, for instance, you can see I've already scanned it when the problem was not there. I've already scanned it when the problem was not there. So now what I'll do is, as the problem is persisting, and now I can see my CAN wave is more noisy. It's very noisy. What I'll do is I'll go back and do auto scan. I'll go back and do smart scan and see if I'll be able to communicate with all the drivetrain modules on the system. So if I'm not able to communicate with it, then that means there is an issue I have to sort to. So you can see, starting from this, I'm not able to communicate with it. I'm not able to communicate with the TCM. Let me see if I'll be able to communicate with the ISM. I'm not able to communicate with the ISM. So that means on that point, that CAN line is down. It's really off. So let me take out one pin, which is the green one, and plug it on the OBD2 pin 16. So now you can see I've plugged in my to pin 14. So what I'll do is, let me turn off the channel 1, disable, and you can see there is no noise on the. Let me set my trigger to channel 2, and you can see when I'm using the breakout box for this type of diagnosing, it will lead me astray, because you can see there is no noise on the CAN line from that side. Do you get me? Because of the gateway module. So the gateway module is doing the communication between the scan tool and the vehicle. But for the other CAN networks, you can see there is no communication. So after this, what I'll do is I'll disconnect the EZS to verify if it is from the EZS. I'll disconnect the EZS, then I'll scan the whole vehicle and see if I'll be able to communicate with the other modules. So if I'm able to communicate with the other modules, then I know my problem is from the EZS, because even up to now the scan tool is sending command all right, but still I'm not able to communicate with any of the modules. I'm only able to communicate with some few modules which are not on the green line when it comes to the wiring diagram, which are not on the green line, which is CAN bus, I think CAN bus B, which are not on it. So the modules that are on the CAN bus B, I'm not able to communicate with it. And for the radio side, I don't think I'll be able to communicate with anything, because I've disconnected the radio. So with this one, I am setting, and you can see with the back of the EZS, it has two CAN lines. So this green one and this brown one. So the brown one is communicating, but the green one is not communicating. So what I'll do is, after this system scan, I'll go back and disconnect the EZS and scan everything and see if my problem will be fixed. So from this one, I'll wait for it to finish the scanning. So things, when you come to the instrumental cluster, it has two CAN lines. One is for the like the CAN bus B, and the other is for the brown one. So with that one, it will be able to communicate. So with this one, I'll wait for the vehicle to finish scanning, and you can see I'm not able to communicate with anything related to the drivetrain and some of the chassis ones with one CAN line only. So I'll wait for it, and you can see the instrumental panel sometimes will go off because of communication issue. So now what I'll do is I have to wait for it to finish scanning, then I'll disconnect it as I said, then I'll check it. So now I'm done, and you can see I'm able to communicate with most of the modules. So you can see so let me count the number of modules I was able to communicate. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25. So I'm not able to communicate with the rest. So what I'll do now is I'll disconnect the EZS and rescan it again. Okay, so now I've disconnected the CAN line on the EZS. So now you can see the CAN line looks okay. So now let me go back and rescan the system again, scan the system, and see if I'll be able to communicate with the other control module. You can see now I'm able to communicate with the TCM, and I'm able to communicate with the ISM, and I'm able to communicate with the ECU. So now I'm able to communicate with the CAN lines, the one on I think the CAN bus B. So with this one, as the system were reporting the lost communication with the EZS, now everything proves that the EZS is having an issue. This car doesn't have ADAS. It's 2010 model, so it doesn't have anything related to the ADAS. So don't worry about those one. But now I'm able to communicate with most of the things. So I'll be able to communicate with the ESP, and I'll be able to communicate with the SRS, everything on the safety issues which connect to that CAN line. So I'll call for the EZS to be changed. Now I'm certain that the problem is from the EZS. So I'm now certain that I can call for a new EZS without any comeback. So I'll change it. I'm not just replacing the parts, but I've tested and found out that this is what is causing my problem. So if after changing it and it's still persisting, then it will be a headache for me. But for this test, everything proves that the EZS is having an issue and is shorting the CAN line to ground. I say to ground, it's creating more noise into the CAN line, and you can see there is a nice CAN communication. So let me change my time. Let me change my time and get more information. So you can see that they are in sizes. This one thing I like about CAN, but CAN diagnosing takes more time. But the customers think sometimes you have to play magic and just fix their problem for them as quickly as you can. So with this one, I'll call for the EZS to be changed, and I'll speak to the client about it. Then I'll know what to do from there. So I'll call them to give me the EZS, and now I'm able to communicate. So if you go back, you see I was not able to communicate with most of the modules on the CAN line. So but now I'm able to communicate it with most of them, and this is why I like the topology. So I think it's a nice investment buying this tool. Auto does that, but they do that on the the Pro 2, the IM608 Pro 2. I think I'll start investing in that. I'll start finding money to buy that one and sell my old one. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. So with this one, we have to do further diagnosing and replace the EZS and call it a fix. Now I've scanned most of the modules. So with this one now, I'm able to scan more of the modules, as you can see. So I'm done. The moment I shut the vehicle down, I'll not be able to start it again because of the issue. But when I take the EZS out for a while, that one I'll be able to start it again. Thank you for watching. The moment I plug it back, the noise comes back, and you can see I've plugged it back, and now the noise is back. So, and you can see I'm having my Christmas light again. Okay, so now there is the old, there is the faulty EZS, and there is the new EZS. We've cloned it and programmed everything. So moment of truth, let me insert the key and turn it, and it starts, it's running. So I'll let the vehicle run for a while, then leave it on and see if the fault will come. So I'll come and check the reason why the check engine light is on and other faults, if there will be any other faults. If not, I'm done with the programming. I'm done with the diagnosis, so I have to leave the EISN on and see if the fault code will come up again. If not, then I call it a fix. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. So after fixing everything now, I do a general scan. After fixing the new one, I'll do a general scan. We'll shut the car off and turn only the ignition so that I can erase all the fault code. Then come and scan it tomorrow again and see if there will be any other issue. If not, then I'll call it a fix. So now, quick erase to erase all the components. To erase all the fault code, then I'll call it a fix. And it looks like the ignition switch itself is having an issue, but I just have to erase everything because I've disconnected it, reconnect and disconnect and reconnect. So I just erase all the fault codes there. I'll rescan it again once the vehicle is running and see the issues that I'll be getting in it, because I know these issues mostly are communication issues. So I'll let it scan itself and erase all the fault code. So the fault code erasing is done, and I can't see any fault code again. So we just turn the ignition on and turn it back on to start the vehicle there. So now I'm rescanning it to check the fault code in it. The BS light is on because the machine was scanning the system. So after rescanning it, this is the only fault code I'm having. I've disconnected the radio, so I'm expecting it to complain about it a lot. So GPS antenna, cellular data, so it's more of radio contact and component interference, suspension. So only those ones. So I'll let it rest for tomorrow, then I'll see what other issues will come and add up to it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. So the next day I came to scan the car, and there is no fault related to lost communication with the EZS. So I'll just let them drive it. I'll fix everything back and let them drive it. And even the car is running, you can hear the car is running. So I'll let them drive it. I'll keep it for today and let them come for it tomorrow. Then I'll let them drive it and test the vehicle. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos.